Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Robert E. Lee on Leadership, Executive Lessons in Character, Courage, and Vision, by H.W. Crocker III, narrated by Jonathan Hogan. This book is copyrighted 1999 and 2000 by H.W. Crocker III. This recording is copyrighted 2006 by Recorded Books. Today's world requires leaders of uncommon excellence who can outsmart the competition and overcome the cold brutality of constant change. Robert E. Lee was such a leader. In this book, you are invited to discover a man of unyielding courage who inspired an outmanned, outgunned army to achieve greatness on the battlefield. Robert E. Lee triumphed over challenges people in business face every day. Guided by his magnificent example, so can you. And now, Robert E. Lee on leadership.
Prologue. The Gray Fox. They called him the Gray Fox, and with good reason. Packs of blue-coated hounds, led now by General Ulysses S. Grant, had tried for 3 years to run him to ground, and failed. Every time he seemed cornered, he fooled his pursuers, snapped at their heels, and sent them scurrying away. Now shells were exploding around him, his steady, dapple-gray horse, Traveler, exhibiting a sort of sixth sense, reared as shot plunged through the smoke of battle, passing under his belly, sparking beneath the spurs of General Robert E. Lee. Lee's brown eyes glinted. The Gray Fox was going to strike again. Outnumbered as always, nearly 2 to 1, his lines dissolving under an assault by the better-fed, better-clothed, better-equipped Union foe, Lee turned Traveler toward the enemy. With gauntleted hand, he brushed dirt from the broad chest of his gray uniform, his jaw clenched. He would counterattack. "Go back, General Lee, for God's sake, go back!" the men shouted as they had done at the Wilderness, and as they had done again only the day before, as their beloved general rode to the front, unarmed but apparently preparing to charge the Federals, those people, and push them back himself. "If you promise to drive those people from our works, I will go back," Lee replied. The men rushed forward, yelling their promise, and slammed into their former entrenchments, driving the Federals out of them. The battle raged all day at the Bloody Angle to the north of Spotsylvania Courthouse until nearly 10,000 Confederates and 18,000 Federals were lost as casualties. Even the relentless Grant, who was willing to fight it out on this line if it takes all summer, which it would, and longer, and who was willing to suffer any number of losses in ceaseless pursuit of Lee, waited 9 days for 30,000 fresh reinforcements before renewing his attack, numbers that weren't available to Lee. Grant's reinforcements, however, wouldn't be enough. The Gray Fox was still too clever, still packed too much of a bite, however tattered, hungry, and desperate his forces appeared. "We must strike them a blow," said Lee, and they did. Stinging blows that cost Grant nearly 1,700 casualties a day, at least 50,000 men in the single month of May 1864. While victory for the South seemed increasingly impossible, with Atlanta besieged and the North's massive superiority in industry and manpower weighing heavily, defeating Lee seemed equally impossible, unless he and his Army of Northern Virginia could be ground into dust in a pounding war of attrition that counted no costs, that was willing to lose 2 men to every one of Lee's, and that would continue until every last remnant of Lee's gallant army was starved, weaponless, or dead. In fact, the war would last for 11 more months. Its close at Appomattox Courthouse was one of the most poignant moments in American history, with Lee's General Orders No. 9, his farewell to the Army of Northern Virginia, becoming the funeral ode for the lost cause, the Gettysburg Address of the South. After 4 years of arduous service, marked by unsurpassed courage and fortitude, The arm...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?